Hi, this is Jordan. This month's XDA Developer TV is brought to you by the Samsung Smart App Challenge 2012. Enter for your chance to win your piece of over $4 million in cash prizes by clicking the link at the top of XDA-Developers.com or by visiting developer.samsung.com. Looks like we had a pretty interesting weekend over at XDA-Developers.com, so let's go ahead and take a look at what happened. In the past few weeks, we've talked quite a bit about the Oracle versus Google case, and essentially I thought it was over, but apparently the judge made one more final decision, and this is actually a pretty big one from what I've read. The judge's ruling is that Oracle's Java API is not copyrightable, because the US Copyright Act says that you cannot copyright an idea, a process, a system, a method of doing something, and this is exactly what they're intending to do. Now, this definitely sets an excellent precedent because, for one thing, if they had been able to copyright this and been able to enforce the copyright upon it, then this could go back and affect a lot of things that have happened in the past. I don't have specific examples, but there are some things talked about in the article over on XDA Developers, so definitely go read the article there. I've also heard about some Microsoft API legality issues that people have discussed in the past, and so if this copyright issue had not been ruled against, there may have been a lot of things that had happened. I mean, this would have set a precedent that could have been devastating for a lot of other companies. So definitely we have to applaud the judge in this case for making this sort of ruling. And if you haven't been keeping up with it to this point, I would recommend going back and taking a quick look at it because it is kind of interesting looking at the Oracle's allegations against Google basically saying, no, that's ridiculous, and so on and so forth. And moving on to some actual development news, owners of the Samsung Galaxy S II I9100G variant will be pleased to know that there's an official version of CyanogenMod 9 available for it now. At least a nightly build, so it's not the stable build, but it is definitely on the way. And that is thanks entirely to XDA Elite Recognized Developer CodeWorkX, who is a member of Team Hacksung. If you remember, last week we talked about the Galaxy S II i9100G receiving its official ice cream sandwich update direct from Samsung, but if you don't want TouchWiz on it, this is definitely an excellent alternative. There are still some things that aren't working, like FM radio, Wi-Fi direct, and TV out, but again, step in the right direction, definitely nice to have the options, and if you are interested in looking at this, head over to the forum. And speaking of CM9, we had an unofficial alpha released of CM9 for the HTC ChaCha. Now, this device was never intended to get ice cream sandwich in any way, shape, or form, so it is definitely awesome to see this coming. And it is, of course, thanks to XDA recognized developer ADLX.XDA, and thanks to XDA recognized contributor Alex C for going ahead and posting the thread. Now, of course, it is an alpha, and there is a laundry list of problems with it that's a mile long, but it is well on its way. They're making progress with it. So if you have the ChaCha and you do want to try it out, go ahead and give the thread a look. I don't know if I would be jumping on it myself quite yet, but whatever. Now, going back to Samsung for just a minute, we've talked a lot in the last few weeks about the Galaxy S3, the Galaxy S2, the Note, releasing source code, bugs, fixes, blah, blah, blah. Well, continuing in that same vein, Samsung has gone ahead and released the GPL-compliant kernel source code for the Samsung Galaxy S3 this week. And of course, XDA-recognized developer C2SI has gone ahead and mirrored it on GitHub so we can have another way to get a hold of it, just in case something happens with the Samsung repo. So I think we can definitely see some interesting things happening for the Galaxy S3 in the very near future, if any of us ever get our hands on one. And now just a little bit of housekeeping here at the end. This week saw the release of the first official XDA book. It's called the XDA Developers Android Hackers Toolkit, and it was written by Jason Tyler and our very own portal administrator, Will Verduzco. It offers a boatload of information on pretty much anything Android hacking related, and it's available in a plethora of formats, from physical to virtual, from the hard copy book to the digital DRM or DRM-free copies. But I am, of course, missing out on the most amazing part of all of this. All revenue earned from this book is going to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a foundation which has given support and assistance to members of the community in the past and has done a load of things in terms of preserving our electronic freedoms. So if you're interested in this in any way, I will have a link to the post on the website where you can go ahead and take a look at it. Additionally, this week we saw video number 4 in our Pro Tips series, installing applications from the ADB, done by XDA senior moderator and news writer Jerdog. So if you haven't seen that video already, I highly recommend taking a look at it. And our portal administrator Will Will posted a call for help, asking for help on what we should do in future pro tip videos. In this post, he's got a link to Adam Outler's forum thread on what you'd like to see in next week's pro tip. Basically, there's 4 things you can choose from. Just go there and let him know what you'd like to see. But that's all I've got for you today. I think I'm actually going to be putting out another video on Wednesday and on Friday, so you're going to see a lot of my ugly face this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you want to receive our content as soon as it comes out, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.